So we're recording the
I
session.
did not use my experience points yet. We were at 120, right? From last episode.
You want to go through quickly? I can do that. I can help you out if you want.
Did you figure out the chart?
I'll think about it because I read through it. I know how to do it now.
All right.
But I couldn't pick where I wanted to put my stuff. I'm happy with where I'm at now.
Well,
horse manipulation.
I don't know what I'm going to do with it, is what I'm saying. I just don't want to throw it at something.
Well, right. So what do you consider your big offense and your big defense power? You can never hurt going up on decks, and your sonic beam tends to be your big weapon. So I would go just kind of like my first thought at it, either your dispersal, your dex, or your sonic beam.
I did that last time.
Okay.
I raised it, my dex, my body, my sonic blast, and dispersal. I did that last time.
Okay.
So I'm thinking maybe one of my other powers, you know.
We get a lot of use out of your mind probe.
Yeah. They're pretty high too. I can throw a little bit of that flight, you know, so I can move a little faster.
Yeah, it sucks. It sucks getting left behind, doesn't it?
My highest power just went to 12 because when things get higher, especially above 8, they get really expensive.
Mm-hmm.
So you'll find that you can get some of these low ones pretty quick, but then you start having to save up for the big stuff.
Yeah, I'll figure something out. I got to do some more reading.
And then you also have to consider whether you want to have some to burn during the game, because your villains obviously come to the table with villain points to spend to achieve their goals.
Between 5 and 10 times as many as we have, yeah.
Yeah. So I'll get my hero points at 5, and my experience is 120.
Well, that's because there's more of them, right?
Yeah. So
your guys are a finite amount, and consider that this is incomplete. But just think of what you guys have been doing. I know it's sometimes hard to forget, but I started putting together a list of villains that you've met and either kicked their ass or, you know, put away, or they could be still out there, whatever, just like the roll call of everybody there. So there's this side, there's that side. Okay, there's a lot of dudes.
Metal did all that.
Some of it.
You know, Jimmy Mack, you know, Bisbee Sharp, you know, Chet Atkins, may not know him life form. Yeah, there's Roadkill, they're big. That was a group of 4 right there. Troll probably tangentially.
Troll has turned up more times than anybody else in the villain roster. Troll is like a rash, man. He never goes away.
I have a question. Hero points, they're the same as experience points?
Yes, sir.
Interchangeable.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Okay, so I have 125 right now. So if I want to spend some in combat, I can do that.
Yes. Yep.
How many are allowed to spend?
Up to the value of what you're trying to increase. So if you have a dexterity of 8, you could increase it up to 16 max.
Okay.
That's point for point.
Okay.
Oh, you can blow through points. I am notoriously cheap on points.
You can blow through them. Yeah, that feels good at the time, but it's like gambling. You know, they're gone. They're spent. It's over.
Yeah, but at the end of combat, I still can use them for experience points.
No. You spend them, they're gone.
They're gone.
Oh, really?
Oh, yes. Yeah. No, they're burned up 1 for 1. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
They're used for both.
Thought he got them back in the morning.
That's why that's why the supervillains keep doing it.
Yeah, Mike.
Sir.
I saw your discussion that you started about the gadgeteering. Yep. On the I was typing a response to that, and then I noticed the game was going live, so I went ahead and logged on here. I'll respond. I'll go ahead and finish my response later. We won't talk about it now since we're live.
Well, I think it's fine. I think it's a fine topic. I don't see anything wrong with it. I think it enforces the genre really well. I think Mike put his finger on it. You know, it's better to make them, you know, in game, which makes it a little more challenging, but a lot cheaper.
Yeah, they're so cheap, but they're like Oaken just said about the experience points. Once they're gone, they're gone. You can't. Right. advance them. If you try to, well, I'll go ahead and talk about it now then.
There you go.
Yeah, if you say you have your Death Ray 5000 with 10 APs of Kill Superman, and you say, "Oh, I want 12 APs of Kill Superman," you can't. You don't go to that chart and buy 2 more APs. You actually buy 12 APs. You pay for the whole thing from the beginning.
Okay,
and
you can't tinker on something unless you have unless you have an Omni gadget.
That's
Omnis
why
are interesting. Omni gadgets are grenades, and they're interesting.
That's why you use the original chart all the time on the gadgets. You don't use the higher gaining experience chart,
right?
Because it's cheaper. Gadgets are cheaper than real powers to start.
Is it? But they're static.
But
they don't grow like a real living thing. Like
when it's blown up, it's gone. You have to start over from scratch. So once it's gone, it's gone.
I'm comfortable with that. I love it. I love it. I love it. I think it all works for the genre.
I think it's easier just to punch things.
There you go. That's why your character is Chrome, right?
a lot of players that I've noticed from running games in the past, you have to keep it simple, stupid. It's just give them some stats, give them 1 power, and let's go.
Well, this is where we last left off, right? On the corner of the storehouse at Church and Parrot and North Elmview. I understand you guys went back and reorientated yourself and got some flashlights before you thought of going down underground.
I'm just going to put this on my screen here.
Nice. There you go.
I'm just going to paste that up there so you don't actually see me. It'll just be there all the time.
The avatar of you. And there's just one thing we all need to consider before you head down under the sewer there is that you still have more or less an active crime scene, or also present a lot of media, because now news is out. It's a big FBE bust, right? Takedown. So Bisbee Sharp just wants to know first, how are you going to go through this? How are you going to navigate that? Because I guess Bisbee Sharp is going to want to be debriefed by the professor and ask, what's going on. And how much do you want to disclose to him, and how much, he's going to want to help you as well, right? Know what's going on and what's the next move and who are these guys, any of that? Or are you going to just try? Yes, he is. He's actually waving at you guys. He's got his cameraman with him, and he really wants to get an exclusive with you.
Chrome, come here. You'll love this.
What we got?
You're into that rich and famous thing, right? I want you to meet my friend Daniel Petty. Daniel, this is Chrome. He's the superhero that just saved everyone, and he wants to tell you all about it.
And he's got a big grin, and he's got a microphone that he puts right in front of you. He goes, yeah, Daniel Petty, Channel 7, Action News. What's it, WJYG? Capital City 7, I think. Yeah. And
WJYG, very good.
And Metal has been more than forthwith of giving some great footage over the last month.
Speaking of footage, we got that video of Croc.
We do.
You got live video. You got captured video that we can be first to see to our viewers.
Yep.
Citywide.
Yep. But Daniel, you remember we had this conversation later when I asked you for something, right?
Yeah.
I know you've always been good. I just thought I would remind you.
What do you need?
To have it. Nothing yet. I want to be in your good graces later when I have to ask.
And there's other news people that want to get, I guess, across the police tape and whatever, but Bisbee Sharp's not having any of it. You got other FBE. I'll
go over to the Edge and give interviews.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Chrome, if you wouldn't mind talking to my boy Daniel first, it works out for us in the end. If you don't mind.
Yeah, of course. We'll give him the initial shot.
Okay. He's got his cameraman is like a 62-year-old guy, probably has a bad diet, smokes too many cigarettes. He doesn't seem very comfortable with carrying the heavy gear. You know, he thinks it should be a younger man's job. But Daniel Petty will hear nothing of it. He's the man. He always gets the best shot, so he's got to come where he goes. So you can give him all that. Bisbee Sharp is going to want to talk to the professor. You know, how should this scene be wrapped up? How should this place be wrapped up? Is there any more of them, I guess, you'd want to ask you?
I want to ask you, Jay, out of game.
Please
are
do.
Do you have a? Are you like have Discord up in the background, or is there a way of us to like if we ever send messages to you that you actually would read stuff while the game's going on, or do you need to focus on this only?
I can adjust this so I think I can see both things at the same time.
Can you
No, you don't have to. I was just checking to see if you did that in the past, or like if you sending private messages back and forth to.
He wants to pass notes to the GM.
Yeah, that's really hard for me to do. It's really distracting and flicking back. And before I didn't do it because I had the laptop and it would hang the programs. Instead of going to one to the other,
both on your tablet.
The browser and Discord would hang. And it was really frustrating. Now I've got a brand new computer. My brand new computer is in and I have all the processing power I need. But it's still trying to flip between that and Discord and seeing private messages. I completely lose my train of thought.
That's fine. That's fine.
As a human being.
That's why I wanted to check with you first before. Like every once in a while, if I want to make fun of Mike, I'll send a message to Jeremy. But
yeah,
but
I see there is a private chat button. There's a private chat button, but I don't know how that works.
I think that goes
to everybody. Like,
oh, it doesn't go over the live. Yeah, there you go. Right. It's not seen, but it's still seen by everybody. Got you.
That's seen by us 5 only.
Right.
But the comments is everybody on YouTube.
Yeah, you're
okay. Anyways, right now. Bisbee Sharp. I was trying to back away, and being A, uncertainty, and B, having a socially inept.
Well, here's what he's also pitching Jeremy to you.
While Chrome was talking to the while they were trying to talk to the news people, I was going to try to back away and sneak down and not go all the way down in the tunnel, but just try to hide from people.
Yeah, well, he's definitely going to want to have his eye on you and find you.
Yeah.
Are you if you're doing that, you're going to have to drop out of sight before you get to the scene, get to the block, get close by. That complicates things, where you're going to go, how you're going to communicate with your buddies, I guess. But
no, I mean, if Bisbee has me, if Bisbee's got me in his eyes and's got me cornered, that's
okay. He's also got your phone number, right? He wants to. Yeah. So I guess that's why he knows that you guys are coming back, because you told him you were coming back. But he needs you guys to wrap up the scene. He's going to even be pressuring you, or just flat out hoping that the professor, you and Chrome will accompany the the special containment vehicle out to New Jersey, where they got the Supermax prison where they're going to hold these guys.
I don't know if this was supposed to be a secret, but we're in the middle of an investigation. We're not done here.
I mean, I'm always afraid of that. There's always more with you guys. There's always more with you EEs. It goes from one thing to the next. There's never any end.
Well, I can't give you an answer.
What is it?
What is the end of the trail? But the trail is starting here. The trail didn't end here.
And where does it go?
We don't know yet. We're following it.
Do you want me to help explain things to that fascist for you?
And he wants, like the last time. Yeah, go ahead.
I'm being vague and socially inept on purpose, or I'm being vague and socially inept.
Mm-hmm. How large is the threat? Where are you? Do you need us? You know?
I don't know, and no.
Well, then he's going to look over to Metal and goes, what's going on and what do you need?
So
I've got, here's his concern. I've got the press all around us right now, and we have a victory, and I want to wrap it up and get this victory parade out on the road and out of the city. EE is incarcerated out of the city. But if there's still something going on,
get these guys out of the city, throw them in, once you give them a trial and due process, as we're all due as American citizens, definitely throw them in the can, but there's more to this, and it's underground. Do you remember the guys underground with the reactor last year, the computer? I think this is them.
So you're saying you're going to go back into the sewers, and this time you're going to what? Last time it was a potential nuclear meltdown in North Elmview. That was narrowly averted.
Are you saying when I saved the city from the failing nuclear reactor? Is that what you're talking about?
Well, I'm just wondering what you're going to turn up this time. What should we be?
I don't know. You want to go look? You can go if you don't want me to go.
We don't know, and we can't. We don't want to cause a false alarm and tell you it's more than what it actually is. But if the news media and stuff is here, it would be best if you invite them to tag along with you and get them out of here, because we don't know what exactly is going to go down.
Well, he can tie up the scene for probably another 4 to 6 hours, but then the CCPD is going to have to have access to it, and after that, he'll lose control of the media or anything. So he can do that, give you that, and then
So Bisbee, I'm not sure how you feel about ghosts, because one of our guys is actually a ghost at this point. We got a ghost, which is nice. But the real shiny guy over there, Chrome, you know him. I'm sure he'd be glad to press charges and show up in court and testify, because they did him wrong as well.
Press charges against who?
The mercenaries that we just captured that you're taking.
Oh, okay.
They do get their day in court.
Yeah, and this is the guys we got implicated in high crime, high tech thefts throughout the city over the last few weeks.
This is true.
Now we got the whole bunch. Once we got Croc, we got one of them. Now we got the whole group. So yeah.
Yeah, but you can't seem to hold on to Croc for more than a few days.
Well, that was the cops. The cops had him. He didn't have him. And
I think he's liable to be unconscious for a few days, so you might be able to this time.
Yeah, no, they've got him. They've got Dr. Dennis Murphy's on site, making sure they're properly anesthetized, stabilized, and put into the trailer. All right,
I'm trying to power disk. Yeah, that power disk. Power disk. If you need me to file any paperwork against Power Disk, I'll gladly do it.
I guess he'll want to make sure is everything on this guy turned off, all his gear. He'll ask you that, Professor.
Oh, is he? But is he unconscious, or are they in the?
Yeah, he's unconscious.
I can look him over, but is it in the back of the paddy wagon? The super paddy wagon.
That thing is no joke.
Well, it's clear that if you disconnect some things, that it probably won't work correctly. I don't know.
Start randomly connecting things to different spots. See what happens.
Some kind of feedback to blow up the inside of the super paddy wagon with everybody in it.
Yep.
So I'm going to make sure that the reporters got, my takedown of Croc running on the lead, and then we will transition into the rest of the group. I want to make sure they get credit too, but
Yeah.
I'm just going to disappear from camera while this is going on.
Yeah, criminal EEs. Stop.
I was trying
by
to
the
do that, but I'm too
FBE.
big.
So that's a big
Yeah.
home run for the FBE.
All right, just get behind me, and I'll get in front of the cameras.
As the
But Daniel Petty will wants to come with you guys into the sewer.
I don't think
No,
that's a good
I don't-
idea.
I don't think that's safe.
Oh, really? He's really. Oh, that's really too bad. This is pretty exciting stuff. I mean, the footage of you smashing Croc through the wall. I mean, that's just going to be replayed and replayed and replayed constantly. It's got to be going viral already.
I
Yes,
go
but
put
what if
the
he would've
arm on
smashed-
Professor.
what if you would have got smashed through a wall?
Right.
Could you survive that?
I
I
see
go
what
put
you're
the arm
saying. No, my good looks would probably be dashed all over the streets, right?
So
I put the arm on the professor so he also disappears from camera.
Yeah, you drag him away.
No, I literally use my obscure superpower to make him disappear from camera.
Okay. But I think at this point, Daniel Petty, the cameras are off, and he was trying to negotiate going underground with you guys, and you say it's a bad idea. So he'll just stand and wait till you guys come back out. Is that good?
I say to him quietly, I'm like, man, you remember what happened to Shamrock? You remember.
Yeah, that gives him chills. Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
What you think that's going to happen to us?
I'm saying I don't want anyone to pull out all your teeth, buddy, so I don't want you down there.
Good point. That's pretty nasty.
I just thought about it. I need to get some kind of like remote controlled camera drone to fly around with me and, make sure that it captures all the footage.
I hand him a GoPro from my collection. Did you want one of these?
Well,
It doesn't fly, but I tend to just wear it on me.
yeah, I don't know if that's going to work.
I buy them by the case.
Yeah, I mean, I expect they'll probably get smashed up if they're on me.
That's true.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And then he's also like Spider-Man. He's staged him different places when he's expecting trouble. You've set up cameras in an environment where you know you're going to be fighting. I guess it doesn't take that long to set them up either, right? If you wanted to do
No,
it
it's trivial.
in the moment.
Well, just, if you want one, I got a pocket full of them. It's kind of like cell phones. I buy them in bulk.
Yeah, like I said, I don't think me wearing one would work out really well.
All right.
That's why I wanted one that was, that could fly or something, hover nearby, that kind of thing.
Oh, well,
Maybe-
definitely look
maybe-
into that. Go ahead.
if he had one clamped on, it wouldn't record anything because when he turned his powers on, it would chrome over.
So in this case, I hand the one to the professor, and I'm like, okay, so that when you're looking at it, you're much less likely to be hit with a tank, and you're not chroming over.
Yeah, maybe we need to build a camera into that headband of yours.
Here's a thought.
Well, there's cool. You got some technology there. Do you see that picture, guys? I don't know if that's showing up very well.
Okay.
Yeah, the one you posted. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that's where eventually I guess the environment starts to change in the sewer. There's a large and you're following an energy signature that the professor has matched from the Star Pulse tech that was on Power Disk. And it's also emanating from a network, kind of like a wireless network that was in patches underground. And as you follow it, at first there's an old just I guess a big mainway or something that goes a trunk line, that old one that empties out into the river. And then you come to a perpendicular tunnel below that one. You can see it because there's openings, and some of the water and gunk flows down to it, and it goes perpendicular, and down there is where you see these thicker bands of, now it's like coalescing of wire, and the signature is stronger in one direction than the other, so that you're actually got to like step around some of it instead of just noticing it on the walls. Now it's starting to collect and be like in bunches.
Professor, can you do a check on this technically and try to figure out what it is or where it's going?
Well, my question is, we got. So how big is this? I mean, is this like a D&D dungeon crawl type situation where we need a marching order, or?
No, I mean, it is narrow, and in some places it widens. Imagine, but mostly it is a large circular tunnel. And it probably feels longer than it is because it's in the dark. And near the center, there's, old sewage and crap that's still draining towards the river. It looks abandoned, old sewer lines. And you had passed, you had passed a level of, I guess, underground infrastructure, like, you didn't go through a subway tunnel or a train tunnel, but you would have been near one, because you went through, like, down through where maintenance people may have gone through, or chaseways and raceways for wire and power. And this stuff would be patched onto it, kind of like hijacking power.
Yeah, the even following, especially deeper and deeper, if we go, I want to, obviously everybody's going to be on high alert. I don't want to get ambushed, or if I see or hear anything, let me know.
Well, since you brought up like dungeon crawl, this is the first place where now you have multiple branches, and it's multiple branches, and they're not all like on a horizontal plane. There's a couple that go down, and I guess it branches off in a Y, and you're unable to see a lot of the sewer walls. It's now becoming all wire.
Huh.
But as the tunnels spread in different directions, the wires spread in different directions too. It goes down.
No, there's one. No, there's one clearly that has more than all the others. Like, these other ones are coming from different directions, different places.
This strikes me as it's a lot of power and a lot of data, a lot of it.
And I guess let's say it's the one that goes, one of the ones that goes down. So you would have to scale down and kind of repel, if not use your powers. How wide is it? It's about 4 feet wide too. So not all that roomy, but one person could easily go down.
And somebody indestructible should go first.
Okay, I can go through it dispersal wise, or I can start in physical form and then disperse through.
There's nothing so much blocking your way. You just have to descend it.
I assume that
continue in that direction.
Is the flooring, is it rough or is it smooth, or?
The flooring was mostly pavers and concrete, and either was fitted stone, and then into, as you going in, I guess there's more modern sewer vaults and vault-sized passageways where sometimes you got to hunch over. and you're not going very far. It just also seems like you've been traveling a ways because it's really dark. There's not a lot of lights. If there's any light, maybe it's some glow coming off of these bunches of wire. But now the flooring, it's being covered with all these wires, and they're black, and they kind of, you can feel them like a warmth from them coming through your feet, but all that surface area is starting to be covered.
Okay. Well, the reason I ask is because I have to have a smooth surface to skate on, and if it's all broken up and rubble and piled and stuff, then I can't get up any speed. So
It's like bundles of wire with zip ties around it, if you can think of that.
Yeah.
Trunk lines,
on the ground.
all around, on the ground, on the walls,
Okay.
like wherever you put your hands and stuff.
Under a giant conduit.
It's there. They're all there.
right. Yeah.
If that prevents you from being smooth, and operating your movement powers, that would be some type of limitation, I guess.
Yeah. Okay.
You want me to lift you over it?
Well, I assume I can climb over it, but
Oh, you're more than, you're not like going over it. Yeah, but you're going it along in the same path as it as well.
okay.
You're
But
not
what I mean is
crossing
is the floor smooth, or am I having to go over the conduit?
You have
as
to go
we
over
go
the conduit. You have to
Okay.
go over the conduit. Every once in a while, you got to put your hand out because the footing gets weird, right?
Got it.
And when
Okay.
and when it's not, you can go. Every once in a while, they'll see, like a manhole cover or something that indicates the infrastructure of the underground.
It's a giant
Even though-
web. It's a giant web.
Even though we don't know exactly what all this is about, and I am curious to find out what it's all about, my nature is wanting to destroy some of the smaller offshoots just to agitate who's on the other end, but I won't. Just keep everything operational until we get to the other end. It's not like they don't know we're coming if there was cameras and they saw us destroy stuff.
Mm-hmm. That's right. They got a lot of footage of you in action, right? Against his crew.
Just and you said everywhere that they separate, there's always one mass that is bigger than the rest. It's
Yes. Yeah. Like
So,
it's like a current, like a river, and you can sense it with your ray gun that it, that there's movement back and forth, but there's always one direction that it goes.
So it's actual wire. I do reality check. It's like aluminum or copper wire. It's physical wire.
It's more like some type of latex with a liquid inside of it.
Good.
And in some places it's really stiff, and it's like the plastic sheeting is really hard, but other places it's pliable. Sometimes it's never really bigger than your thumb, but I guess it varies in sizes. Some of it's very strandy and very thin.
Okay.
You thinking the professor is even like, it's like a lot of it's like wireless as well. There's a lot of wireless signals being attracted to it and being sent out from it.
if I bust one of these open to check for toxicity, do any of you want to drink it?
Oh,
No, thank you.
I didn't think so.
so
Other
Jay, we
than-
make our way down the crazy corridor. I mean,
Yeah,
trying
just,
to avoid the stuff as much as we can, but
Continue to follow the biggest group.
And this gets you into a more rounded room. I guess it's circular. There's two other, entry portals that come into this space as well, and and all the wires in all three of these entrances constrict, so that you're in kind of like a circular ball, and the apertures of the three passageways that came in here have collapsed and tightened up. In effect, has got you in a cage, if you would. No light. It's black. I guess there's trickling of water. Silent, except for the feeling of humming and energy.
Well, we have our flashlights, right?
Yeah.
So it's not
Yeah.
dark.
So it's
Okay.
not dark, so you can see all this around you. And what's the room about? Maybe like it's like a circular chamber, 13, 15 feet across in either direction. And there's
But
four of you in there.
But the tunnels that we were going through actually closed up behind us.
Yeah, the wires closed up, like thickening as whatever it needed to, whether it was more being threaded through, or some have expanded, but yes, they've sealed off, like puckered up.
All right. I'm going to go back to one of them and see if I can budge any of it. I want to try and unpucker it.
You're going to try to unpucker this sucker. You probably have a pretty decent strength, right?
Yes. My strength is 8. I hope that's pretty decent.
Yeah.
That's always a good time to get out the action and results table. Okay, let's see. You got an 8. Roll the die and tell me what you get. And if you get exploding dice, of course, keep on adding as much as you want. And I'll tell you what kind of resistance you get.
Okay. I got a 15.
A 15. You are starting to pry it apart. It's taking all your effort. And that's when a bunch of small wires whip up and they start wrapping around your wrists and your legs, your arms, your torso. And more are wrapping around you. They're wrapping around your head, like surrounding you, and you're being pulled.
I am definitely going to armor up and see if the frictionless armor will help me slip out of this stuff.
Okay. I guess we'll be using your dex on this. I guess it'd be a physical.
Jay, he has frictionless field, right? That's an actual power about escaping from grapples.
Okay, so I need to be using his power against anything that's trying to restrain him.
Technically, I don't think I have that. I mean, it is supposed to be frictionless. I didn't know that was even a power.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I thought you had friction control as a power.
No, I do not.
Okay, my mistake.
But you have that liquid shell that you put around it.
Yes.
The wires seem to resonate with it, and it's for you. It's quick. It's over in a flash, but it's like feeling like it goes through you, enters you, consumes you, like you are a sheathing on a wire. And you see Chrome's liquid form start to become one with all these wires, and whoomp, and he's gone. And the aperture seals up right behind him. You were made like almost Chrome one with this liquid wire when it wrapped around you when you started fighting with it.
Okay, would you look through the wall and see what just happened to our buddy?
Yeah.
Jay, I was thinking early on, but I didn't say anything, that I was wondering if this, when you said that it was liquid in there, I immediately started thinking
pliable. I should say pliable.
Yeah. Gel. Remember Star Trek, the gel packs or whatever. Now that I've seen this interaction with Chrome, would it be unreasonable for me to start thinking that this liquid, this is actually might be alive? I mean, it might be a living
Yeah, sure. It responded. It responded quickly and decisively, I guess, in a sense, to Chrome's actions.
It's not just technological; it's a bio.
Like Chrome got it open, he went, and then it flipped out. All these tendrils flipped out and wrapped him really quick, and there was definitely like some surprising reaction where, like his when you're Chrome, when you go Chrome, right?
No, I secrete a frictionless metallic biometallic substance, and that provides armor, and that's how I can run.
Mm-hmm.
I skate on frictionless coating that I secrete through my feet, and so on.
Teflon.
I don't
The
actually
man
have
got
working
Teflon.
form.
And those wires with that pliable coating, if you would, it was like they were meant to be glued together. And so it shot up around him and merged with his skin power, like rapidly.
Oh,
So really
okay.
fast, like almost like, I guess you could almost think like it's not so much like a spider wrapping a web, but kind of like that, I guess, right?
Okay.
So I'm
Okay, what do you see, man?
gonna wait and see how it reacts to open abilities.
And Oaken, what are you doing? You're just literally, dispersing and following where obviously he was taken in the direction he was taken.
So he's getting taken into this somewhere.
Yeah, it's like the wires and the turned into some type of goo, grabbed him and reached him and pulled him through the
Through the
portal.
wall or something.
Yeah,
Or,
that it's sealed off.
yeah. So I'll disperse and follow him as close as I can.
Okay. He's not very far away. It's thick corded. It's kind of like if a gerbil was swallowed by a python. And so and all you can see, the best that I can describe it, is the liquid is like probing Chrome. It's through,
Hey,
like
now.
a liquid.
You say
It's
probing.
just,
Well, if I don't need my dispersal, I'm gonna.
Oh no, you do. This is solid matter. It's thick. There's no room to move.
Oh, okay.
But this is just what you can see
I get to
dispersing
talk.
through. You would have to maintain your power.
Well, if it's probing him, then I'm gonna is it Chrome is getting sucked up? Then I'm gonna mind probe Chrome to see what's going on.
I am scared crapless right now. I am struggling to break free, but this stuff is.
Can I do a mind probe on the?
Yeah, you can see if you can try to get to him. Yeah, there may be nothing
either
there.
to him or to the whatever it is that's got him.
Your choice. You have to direct it.
Okay, I'm gonna do a mind probe on this liquid stuff thingy, whatever it is.
Okay, and what's your mind probe power?
Mind probe is 8.
Okay.
Nice.
Roll the die, and you got to get really high. You're looking at needing an 18 or better.
Now I got it on 2 dice.
Yep. So you need doubles or spend hero points.
I got double 6s.
So 12. So now you can roll it.
Roll again and add to it.
Yep.
So I got 12.
Mm-hmm.
I go for it. And then I got a 9 and a 7.
You clearly are able to mind probe his mind. So yeah, you get direct contact with what's got him.
Interesting.
And it is interesting because one, it's not magic.
I like it better already.
That's extraterrestrial shit.
But you are, I don't know.
I'm about to get messed up. I can feel it.
It's going to be one or the other. It's going to be like Chrome. It's either going to get the better of you, or you are going to be able to get the better of it.
Well, I'm not going to get another roll like that, so I'm going down.
Oh, that's a good roll. I definitely got to take that in consideration. What was the final total? Let's look at that.
Double sixes was 12 plus 9.
So 25?
And then a 7.
32.
Yeah.
That's 1, 2, 3. That's 4 column shifts in your favor.
I think I got him.
The result 3. I think you're going to be asked a question.
Is that 12? 9 is 21. Plus 7 is 28. Not 32, 28.
Still good. Still, that's at least 3 column shifts. Apologize. It does have. You're getting a question asked of you.
It was 16 plus 12, 20. Yeah, 28. That's my final answer.
Very good. That's a good answer.
How many grown men does it take to add 4 numbers?
I get lost in the moment.
This depends on what time of day it is. And am I on the clock or not?
Have I had my second coffee yet?
Yeah, I read mechanical numbers all day. I'm like, what the hell? The robot's not working right. What the hell do I do? Well,
Jay just reminded me I'm going to go grab my second cup of coffee.
Oh, yeah, please do. I think I need to get a cup of coffee as well, I think.
I'm listening, though.
Questions should be. Here they are, I think. Based on observation, the first of many contradictions, to be explained is the contradiction between definition and reality. That's directly a question you're being posed. And it's being posed to you through the mind of Chrome.
Say that
Can you say that again, please?
That doesn't even make sense.
Can you say it again, please?
Yes, let me see if I can say it again. Explain the first of many contradictions between definition and reality.
Does he share this with us? Can the professor and I have a go at this?
You would have to disconnect.
Contradiction between what?
You're gone.
Definition and reality.
You can't see him. He's dispersed.
Well, I'm going to give an answer.
Are you going to give an answer? Or not? What are you going to say?
My answer will be, I have heard of McDonald's, and I would like a Big Mac. I've never had one.
Okay. Everything, all the wires around you are charging up, and they're actually going to try to affect you. It's going to try to electrocute you.
I got a reaction.
Yeah, I'd have gone for a different reaction than that.
And this is all still behind the closed sphincter of wires, and me and Metal are talking and not knowing what's happening, waiting to get Oaken's report, right?
At least you're not being probed.
Yes, that is correct. That is correct.
We have
Because
both,
you've
we have
complete-
both a probe and a
you're
sphincter
in
in
you're
condensation.
in communicado, and you're just actually sitting there waiting and hoping
Okay.
that Oaken
I'll
reappears. And I guess
continue
you can,
talking. I'll continue talking to Metal in the chat while you guys are finishing that.
and you can put a clock onto it. Tell me when you're like, okay, I've had enough. We're making a move.
Oh yeah, that's what we're discussing.
But what's your dispersal power? Did you say it's 8?
No, it's 9.
9? Oh, so it's 9 versus 9. But of course, it wants to burn some hero points, villain points.
I'm being attacked.
It's going to burn 5, so that takes it from there.
He's being electrocuted?
Essentially.
Attempting to be electrocuted. But he
Good.
has his dispersal power, so the electrocution is going against his dispersal power. And
I know we don't know any of this, but as soon as you're done with that round or whatever, I think me and Metal have had enough since we haven't heard from Oaken yet. So I'm going to try to put this thing to sleep because I think it's alive. I'm pulling the trigger as soon as you're done with him and you come to me.
Just looking for my dice.
Yeah, and they asked me some silly question.
Yeah, it was definitely nonsense and nonsensical. Also, you're culturally kind of obtuse to its whatever it's saying to begin with. Like,
Yeah, because I've never even had a Big Mac.
no, I guess you saw that on a commercial, right?
Yeah. On the television.
How did we get a ghost that thinks with his stomach? How did that even happen?
Norwegian.
All those Norwegians are hungry.
I thought he was Danish.
The last thing I remember eating was mutton and beer. You know?
It is one
Sounds better
column
than Big Mac.
shift.
I thought he was Danish.
That's what took him out.
A Danish took him out?
I was going with the mutton and the beer, but the Danish is funnier.
Yeah.
You take 4 points of body damage,
Oh, that's a lot. That sucks.
but it's not all of your body, right?
No, I got 8 bodies, so I'm down to 4.
So yeah, it's frying you, trying to fry you.
So is it my initiative now?
It is. It is.
Nice.
And I got to say that the Metal and the Professor, since he's not actually very far away, I think you would feel tremors and the discharge of these energy going off.
Well, I've explained to Metal that I think
It'd be very muffled, but
I think this is some kind of life force in here, and I'm going to go ahead and try to
Zap
disrupt
it,
its
yeah.
life force. I'm going to zap it.
okay. What's let's see. What's
Because
your power?
Oaken's been gone for too long, and we are worried that he ain't coming back.
And apparently you aren't worried about Chrome in the slightest.
No, we
No,
Who
knew
has
you
been
got
gone
you,
longer
you
than
got you.
Oaken?
we knew you got taken. He was going to report on you.
Glad to see where the concern lies. Appreciate it.
No, we already know what happened to you.
Please.
The
you
mystery
can
is what happened to Oaken.
You can take a supersonic hit into a supervillain. It takes a lot to inconvenience you.
Apparently it didn't take much for this thing to start probing me.
No, you're like peanut butter and jelly in a peanut butter jelly sandwich. The Professor, what are you saying that you're pointing your ray gun at the wall?
At the bundle of the sphincter of enclosed wires that Oaken just flew through.
Okay. And at the same time you do that, let's roll on a random table, shall we? Right?
God.
Someone else showing up.
And who could it be?
It's a
Bill
random
and
table.
Dr.
We're
Turtle.
actually going to pick what table it is by randomness.
I could do that. I actually worked on a couple of tables.
It's a 1978 income tax table for fishermen.
I'm going to roll a D8 because it's got 8 entries. How about that?
I rolled a 6. That means it's the coffee table.
A D8 and DC
I'm
superheroes.
thinking more of an lawnmower.
Well, yeah, because I'm just grabbing different tables, you know.
I know. I'm joking.
I use my full repertoire, my bookcase. I use everything that's there, regardless of system, and incorporate it into my games.
The reason I said that, I saw somebody had posted on one of the Facebook groups something about their Champions game, and there was a picture and it had miniatures and stuff on this map, and there was a D8 on the map, like if somebody had rolled it as what somebody thought, and they're like, "Yeah, sure, you used a D8 in Champions," and I go, "No, that's like a filing cabinet or something," and they came back and said it was a trash can.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, of course, only D6 are dice. Everything else represents something. It's just, so a D8 in a merch game.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but they sell that trash can in high definition.
It's actually like the other two passageways. They squirt out circular blades. Twing, twing, twing.
We're in the Matrix. That's what
possibly
it is, the
slice
Matrix.
you in half. There's what? I'll roll a D10. There's 7 of them total, all crossing. And that who's in there? It's the metal and professor. So you're going to have to do something to not get sliced into pieces. I guess you have a moment to react.
This was a preemptive defense before I pulled the trigger.
I'll tell you the reaction of what happens with your gun after you do this. But yes, you pull the trigger, your ray gun's going off
simultaneously.
It triggers a reaction really quickly.
Any chance these blades are made of metal?
There is a small chance because the thing has probably more video of you than anything else.
Okay.
Because you've been the character the longest in the game.
Yep.
You've been on news and everything.
But I thought you don't show up on video camera.
Well,
that's a power. I have to turn it on.
And and he hasn't always had it too. He's tuned it up.
Right.
He's gotten better. It's actually was kind of in reaction to this thing, right?
Yep.
So yeah, it's spitting this stuff. I guess it's making a multi-attack against you guys since there's 2 of you. That would make it.
I would say I'm dodging, but I'm actually got my feet planted, pulling a trigger, so that's not the case.
What's your dex though?
Straight up dex is only 4.
So I'm going to guard the professor with my force shield, so his RV should be pretty obscene.
Okay. You can do that. And metal, what do you got for a?
I'm going to use my magnetic control to defend myself. So I'm spinning the chains and all this, and defend myself with magnetic control while I'm using my using automatic action to put my force shield on the professor.
Got you. So that would give you an opposing value, I think, of 15 because of a.
So I have an opposing and a resistance of 12.
Okay.
Whatever the professor is, his resistance is going to go up by 7.
Okay, I'll make it simple because he's getting a column shift because of I'm calling it a multi-attack. The entity needs to get an 18 or better to full-on affect you guys or hit you with its blades. And I get a 7. So I guess they have a they're made out of ceramic. But I guess it doesn't take in consideration that squirting these things into the chamber and missing you guys, it hits and spins off and cuts a bunch of them, and a bunch of black goo is spitting everywhere.
What happens with the professor's ray gun blast?
Okay,
it's dictate what I do.
What's the value of your ray gun blast? What's its acting value when you're shooting it at a inanimate object, because this is an inanimate thing. To a
Oh
certain
yeah,
degree.
well, it's a accuracy 6, so
No, well, I should say, what's its effect? What's its
yeah,
effect value?
8.
Okay.
And does this have a spirit? That's the question.
Does this thing have a spirit? No.
I just talked to its spirit. It just talked to me.
So it won't
It
have
did-
a magical backlash if that's what you were hoping for, an amplified result.
No, I'm trying to drain its life force. I assumed it was alive. That's why I was shooting it.
Right.
But if it's not alive, then it's just going to disintegrate.
Okay. Then what'd you say the power of it was? It was an 8?
Yeah.
I'll tell you, it starts to disintegrate it, but a very small amount. But if you keep on doing it, you obviously could carve your way through the wires.
We do
And it's coating. So I'd say it's almost like melting like a welding thing. And its conduits, its wires, its connectivity starts to fall apart, but only in about this wide at this point, right in front of you.
So on the disintegration attack, it's 8 versus the body, right? And then it continue if it gets positive RAPs, then it just continues automatically forever, except it's always body and body. So it's 8 versus body to affect and 8 versus body to do damage. If it does it again the next turn, it just continues until the thing's completely gone or
it's neutralized it in some way.
Or if it gets anytime it gets 0 RAPs, then it just stops.
Yep. But this thing's got some adaptations.
All right.
Do I get a chance to break out of this thing or anything, or am I incapacitated?
At this time, you are pretty far gone. This is pretty extreme. But there's always a roll. What is it going to be? It's going to be it's either going to be your will or your mind. What's your will? It's like your strength. 4. Okay. You got to roll. And your roll is what you need to get a 21 or better to crack this thing. And you can spend hero points if you like to increase things. But yes, that's the amount of mental power.
Is this thing am I going to die if I don't? Is that what's going to happen?
Chrome, would you like me to go first before you do this?
It's hard. It's hard to say. It's hard to say. I don't think so. But is there a possibility? Yeah.
Well, I mean, I guess
really,
is this thing like dissolving me, or what is it like? Or
Just
am I just
probing
being
you?
held?
We all like to be held after a little probing.
What it's doing is that it's finding that you're made out of some of the same things that it's made of.
The Borg.
Okay.
It's like almost like your venom and its carnage, and you guys are just going vibing off each other. I don't know if you know those two supervillains.
Yeah. I'm not.
It's not probably a good analogy.
I don't know.
It's not alien symbionite. It's more like you and it are made of some of the same stuff.
Okay. All right. So this thing's made out of chromium hexyl carbonate. So go figure.
Or it uses it quite a bit in its system.
Do I have to say how much I'm going to spend before I do it, or
it's usually proper form, but if you have a number in mind that you have, I don't want to puke on you.
What did you say I needed?
A 21.
Oh, Jesus. And I probably would spend 10 points to see if I can get an 11 or better.
Your max is 4, right? Because your will is 4.
Yeah.
It's more, so I guess so he can only
Oh,
spend 4 on it?
So I'm spending 4. All right, and I got a 15, so I only rolled a 19.
Only a 19. So not quite, but let's say you'll get another chance where otherwise if it was a lot lower, you wouldn't have another chance to try to break free.
Yeah, if it wasn't limited by the statistic, Jeremy, you could just save up points forever and then go, I'm going to spend 1,000 hero points to extinguish the sun.
Yeah. No, I get it. I just, yeah.
So I guess the stronger you grow, the more eventually you could throw more at it. Yada yada yada.
Yeah.
Let's go.
I didn't remember what this thing rolled to get me to like capture me in the first place, but I don't know if my armor would have helped or anything. But
No, it was actually went in reverse for this special surprise first encounter.
okay.
You won't have this type of reaction to it again if you get another again, if this works out in your favor and you are not captured by this thing for forever.
Well, I think I'm going to need some help.
And I want to start with Oaken because you're the closest. What are you doing?
I'm going to do a targeted sonic blast on the element so I don't hit Chrome.
Okay. It's not really moving. It's not a moving target.
Okay.
So I know it's resistance. What's your power?
Sonic blast is 9. Because I realize he needs help and he's trapped and he's getting probed and dissolved. His armor's getting dissolved into this material. And I'm getting hungry and I really have not had a Big Mac in my entire existence.
If you spend 9 hero points, you can peel them away. You can create some type of magic arcane slipperiness to them that you will be able to release them. But you'd have to spend 9 hero points to pull it off to increase your power to that. And that gets you both falling backwards into so that you're all in the same chamber now. And Chrome, you're coming too. And that black goo is kind of everywhere.
You owe me 9 hero points.
I don't know if I can give you those, but I'll buy you a Big Mac.
No, now you're talking. I'll take it.
Let's see. This is there's another question that feels like it's echoing in your mind, Chrome, like an echo, because this thing was constantly like communicating or going through you with communication. At one point, you kind of felt like the whole network of the city, like you were everywhere at once, with getting all sorts of imprints and impressions. But that was a really fleeting image. And if you would have to think about it again, it would fray on the edges of your sanity. It was a little overwhelming. But the question is, and it is phrased like this: the machine has an inquiry. A vigilante is a form of criminal, while a hero is a person thought to be good. Question: how can a criminal be good?
Oh, I want in on this one.
It's asking me this question?
It's echoing in your head, yes. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And you can announce to everyone that that's what's happening if you want.
Yeah. Guys, I've got this weird. Well, are they in the same? I know.
Yeah, you're all in the same room now.
Oh,
yeah.
we're all together again.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, you kind of got pooped back out.
Something really strange is going on. This thing is messing with my head. This is like worse than a roofie. Like
very much so.
Like it's asking me like, how can a criminal be a hero or something?
It depends on the point of view of of society. If you flip the rules on its head, the hero is the villain.
Good answer.
I think what he said or she said.
Okay. That what does it say? That seems to get you get a warm feeling, a warm sense, a warm feeling of goodwill. Like now I guess you're on ecstasy, Chrome. But and this is where it's going to get a little weird, guys.
It's about time.
There was a creature that Metal has met that goes by the name of Creepazoid.
Yeah.
And Creepazoid, let's see if I can find a good picture of him. But think of a fleshy big egg with one big eyeball, 3 leg stalks, and some antenna that come out of it.
Oh, I was thinking of my last girlfriend. I'm sorry.
Pretty close, right?
That was Freakazoidia, wasn't it?
Well, she looked a lot better, but
Yeah, I just had Freakazoid going through my head. So
Come on and wind me up, yeah.
But one of his stalks, like he has a big eyeball on his chest, like that's his main one. But he can make a stalk with an eyeball. And I guess he's going to have to come up with some kind of mouth as well.
Yeah, is Metal describing this thing to us, or how do we know this?
Because it pokes its head through the wires.
Creepazoid. What are you doing here?
It's okay. There's a little picture of it. There's a small picture right there of him. There's one. See, he's got like 3 legs.
Kind of looks like plankton.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah. And he's got a couple of buddies, but yeah, he's definitely not a like. It looks like something that was made. Definitely not a normal thing.
We fought with this thing and we've reasoned with it. The last time we talked to it, it was okay.
And it says, like it always says, Deep Ghost is everywhere. Deep Ghost is everywhere. It's looking for, it wants Hideo. It wants to find Hideo. Find Hideo.
Is that Spanish?
Damn.
Just seems to be a name. And then Creepazoid gets squeezed out. Like the wires become aware of its presence. And then more wires wrap around your necks. I'm
gonna intervene before things start getting wrapped around our necks.
Wait now.
What is that? Yep.
So you ever see how a roto-rooter operates, Jay? You ever see how that works? Well, they clear a pipe.
Yeah, they feed a wire through with a little scraper thing on the end. No.
Yeah, and it like basically goes through. Yeah.
Choose through things.
I'm going to open up one of these tunnels, roto-rooter style. I'm going to take one of the chains out of my pocket, and I'm going to roto-rooter through it.
Fantastic. What power level?
12. We're the big power. This is my magnetic control all the way up.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, roll of a 5. Shit.
It's the black goo that got spread everywhere. That's what takes you out. It starts getting in the wrapping, starts to get squirted in your mouth, and that's all of you guys. It's like almost like you get the sensation of drowning. Like it's like an Aliens or whatever. It's forcing the wires to guys down your throat, and it's pumping you filled with a lot of black goo.
Do we not get to dodge or anything here? I mean,
no, you're really in an enclosed space, kind of at its mercy at this point.
The GM says this is going to happen.
Yep, this is happening, but this is where it takes you.
Is this by any chance a chemical attack? Because I do have systemic antidote.
Nice. It is a chemical attack. A chemical attack. So I guess you see things a lot more clearly than some of the other players where you end up, where you find that you end up. I have to describe it. It's kind of like you're in a plaza. It's clear chrome that you're in some type of shared virtual reality. That's apparent to you quickly. It would be apparent to the professor really quickly too. And the plaza looks like it's a checkerboard floor, circular. There's 4 doors across the other side of this checkerboard floor. There's 4 doors, if you would, just standing there like on the edge of the platform. They each have symbols above them. Surrounding you is, it looks like blips, glitches, and if you would, a bitmap C, like 8-bit, 16-bit, something in the really bad resolution. And at the center of the plaza is what can only be considered a communication tower. There's bland music playing in the background. It occasionally skips.
On top of it.
There's a loop 2D image of a soft pink pixelated sky floating above, blimps and planes. 2D sprites fly through the air. There's displaying ads. There's a lot of logos for Mr. Goodnight. And then way up off in the distance in the sky is like a tower that's floating up here. And so you're surrounded by the sea. The symbols above each of the doors are recognizable to everyone but Oaken, because Oaken's not from this time. But one is like the wheel with the wrench settings. The other is a floppy disk save. The other is a padlock for lock. And the other is a house like home screen. And those float above each one of the 4 doors. The communication tower at its base float 4 touchscreen info panels that kind of rotate around it.
Okay, settings, home, lock, and what was the 4th screen?
I get home, lock, save, the floppy disk, and settings.
Hey, got it.
We're in cyberspace.
Says the 1,000-year-old ghost.
Well, yeah, the 1,000-year ghost, you're the one that's most disorientated.
Yeah. Well, I read the thingy.
Yeah, that's some of the official canon from the Blood of Heroes rulebook. It's good for a read. That stuff is, some of it is so dreadful, it's enjoyable. I just want to make sure I'm giving you all the obvious stuff that you can see. Yeah, okay. Yep. And I guess there's a door behind you that represents where you came into, and there's like little black wires that come through that door and are attached to the back of your head. But that's like giving you a connection to this world, or how you're in cyberspace.
Okay, well, I can make a choice here.
So we can interact with the 4 screens, and there's the icon, there's the tower. Did you say there was a way back, or there was not?
It's closed to you. It's an image of a door, but it's all pixelated and filled up with like glitchy blocks.
I'm just repeating over and over: Control Alt Delete, Control Alt Delete, Control Alt Delete.
Let me know
Trying
if
to
that
wake
works.
up.
Now do Control Shift Delete.
Professor, you want to take a stab at the touch screens?
I'm trying to figure out if we're actually all here together, or if I'm just imagining this whole thing. Metal.
I think I'm here. I think I'm real.
When was the first time you saw me? What were we doing?
You showed up the door to my condo, and Bisbee Sharp sent you over in an Uber.
Okay. If it's not her, then it's obviously read her mind and is telling me the answer. But either way, for all intents and purposes, I'm going to assume that this is actually the four of us.
Seems to be.
Oh, but if we're in a reality or
Cyberspace.
cyberspace type if we're in a Tron type situation, I'm assuming none of our powers. Can you do anything?
Haven't tried
I'm
yet.
assuming this is just our
Avatars.
our brains, but we're not actually here. So
I'm
do I have a gun?
I'm gonna try and create a fastball and throw it. Nothing.
The professor understands this correctly. Yeah, you don't have any of your powers right now. You're an avatar in a cybernetic space.
Well, I can try a few things.
To the degree that you have created yourself, or has something else created you for its use, that's getting really philosophical at this point.
Do I feel anything?
Yes, you can feel. You can feel. Yes, you have a sensation. You have an aliveness about yourself. You definitely know that you're still alive.
Okay, well, I'm
Tell you
gonna.
what. There's four. Go ahead, Oaken. I'm sorry.
I'm gonna attempt dispersal.
Does not do anything. You don't have it. You are unable to access any otherworldly powers. You feel two-dimensional.
So I can't do a mind probe.
I turned sideways. Can you still see me?
Or can I do a mental attack? Can I perform a mental attack on this thing, or disperse so the wire drops out my head?
You feel that if you continue pressuring that, if you did that a lot, you could hurt yourself really bad. If not,
Try
yourself. You could extinguish the spark of life that resides in you that animates you.
One last
It feels really dangerous.
Am I wearing a left eye patch?
Good question.
I flip it up. Can I see out of my?
Yes,
I can see from both eyes. That's weird.
Yes, and you get a distinct impression of a man in a wheelchair, and how you have this desire to transcend your handicap.
Whoa!
But that happens very briefly.
Okay. At least nobody can ambush me from the left side now.
That is true. No blind sides.
Well, unless
the screen. Sorry.
Unless the professor's perception is telling me something that I'm not thinking of myself. Anybody else have any ideas?
I'm going to go over to one of the screens.
Do the four screens line up with the four icons, Jay, or are they separate fours?
They float. They're separate. They kind of float
okay.
around the center communication tower.
It's a riddle. We got to figure something out.
And
I'm with you.
And there's four screens. One looks to be a clock, like frozen, showing the temperature and weather, but it doesn't seem to be moving. The other says no signal. Let's see, 1, 2, 3. Oh yeah, let's see. It says no signal. Except the professor in that screen, you pick out that there's a subtext, that there's a subroutine running on that screen that says no signal. And you see what can only be an avatar of Hideo in a sleep icon, and it says
Do we know
home
who-
above it.
Do we know who Hideo is?
Nope, you've
Okay.
never heard of that. That is just that was the first time you heard of it. Is from Creepazoid saying Deep Ghosts. He's looking for Hideo. Find Hideo. Who Hideo is, as far as you know, it looks like its electronic icon is a avatar is a sleep icon, and there's like this little word home like. The other one is a message board. It looks like a chronological list of system notifications sorted by date. Last update was well, I guess it wasn't too long ago. It was probably about the same time you were having a fight with the Roadkill Wrecking Crew. There's an automated message reading "Happy Birthday." Let's see what else. Plus, happy birthday, remove paint tool in 1.0 patch. And the fourth screen is supposed to be like when you go to Taco Bell and a kiosk for ordering food, but it's glitched out and it's got like it's like foaming, like pink foam is coming out of it. Like the cubes of pixels that make up the screen have broken down and it's kind of dripping over everything. But you can tell that it was to order food, and the only working button is for cans of Goodnight soda.
I'm gonna order a soda.
So that's what the screens say, and then you have the four doors with those four icons above it.
I think maybe I'm actually at a party and somebody slipped me something.
No joke.
Definitely feels that way. It definitely was. Yeah, you've been at a college party like that.
Silly question, but every time we see this phrase "good night," it is spelled Night, right? There's no K on there.
Just let me find a reference to it. That is correct. Yep.
Okay.
As Mr. Goodnight.
He's
and
not
that's
been knighted. He's just Mr. Goodnight.
Yep. And I think that comes out as well as like some of the floating like balloons or blimps have ads on them.
So I'm
Yep.
gonna try.
Benson,
I'm gonna start.
there's a lot
I'm
of
just gonna start
random
a bit of-
ads.
I'm gonna go after the ordering screen to see what happens when I try to order a soda or interact with it at all.
I hate those things. They don't work in reality.
Some do, some don't.
A drone comes from somewhere over the glitch sea and brings you a Goodnight Cola, and then it pops the thing and it goes and it flies back out to the glitch sea.
Okay. So we got drinks anyway.
I was gonna say, guys, that was not what I expected by any means.
So I guess I should first ask, do you accept the cola when it brings it to you?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, roll a 10-sided dice. Tell me what you get.
5.
You've been gift. Gift? What is it? A GIF or a GIF?
Depends on which side of the Mississippi you're on.
GIF.
Say that again, Esther.
GIF.
Okay, you've been gift.
The first word is graphic, not giraffic.
Yes.
And I guess especially with your I guess your powers are negated here. But you're reaching for the soda again and again and again, even though the drone has flown off. And I guess you seem frozen, repeating your motions, and the drone flies off. You see Metal's avatar get locked up.
I'm gonna
reaching.
kind of go over and shake her and see if I can snap her out of it.
You have, let's see, is there anything noticeable? You do metal comes to pretty quick. I just got it. Some of the it's hard to
You were
read
glitching
this.
out there for a second.
Wow. We seem to be in a system that's not functioning, except we're part of it. I think we need to fix something. I think things are broken and we need to fix them.
Metal, did you sense what just happened to you, or did you just take a drink and not even realize you took the drink 8 times?
Good question, Jay.
What was the question posed to you by the professor?
Was I aware of what happened to me?
Did she sense doing that? Was she repeating, or did she just do it once and didn't realize we saw her repeating?
No, and even your span of time that you felt you were in metal was really exaggerated, and it felt a lot like using your powers at full power, but getting caught and not being able to go anywhere. So kind of like a self-reinforcing vibration. It was really scary. It wasn't normal. It wasn't natural. It was like the first time that you felt that your powers could kill you.
Wow. Okay.
What were those symbols again? We had the home screen.
He goes, the pen and pencil are coming out. You have the home screen.
What was the other one?
A padlock for like locked, maybe password locked. There's the floppy disk for save, like memory save. And then there's the cog with the wrench for settings.
I've just been quietly, again, like normal, senses on high alert, analyzing everything I can possibly see and hear. If I see any kind of, do I see any kind of patterns?
You do notice that with metals diffing out, that a portion of the C, the glitch C, disappears. Like there was a correlation between what happened to metal, which was bad, and the environment, a part of the environment degraded to the point that it didn't exist at all. And this was not on the platform, the floor that you're on. It was like clouds and stuff. Like if you could like see endlessly in a pixelated sky and a foaming pixelated sea, now all of a sudden there's a stopping point, like a void. It ends. There's nothing beyond it.
Let's keep doing that.
No, let's not keep doing that. I think if we do that, all of this stuff will stop. It like not let us out stop, but go away and we all vanish stop.
So the ordering kiosk, all of these appear to be broken in some way. The clock and weather screen is frozen. The no signal with Hiroshi in it is kind of interesting. The message board, actually, the message board might not be frozen, but the ordering board is broken. All of these interfaces seem to be messed up in some way. Maybe we want to log onto the message board, but I think we should try the doors.
Yeah, the doors. When I fix things, I go to settings.
Kind of has a point.
Okay.
Go ahead, Jeremy.
Say something.
Aren't you a 1,000-year-old ghost?
Yeah, he is. So, but I don't know. Explain why strange ethereal portals may not be something that is so alien to you.
Because it has a tool on it and it needs to be fixed. Now fix it with tools.
It's from one of the tool making races.
I built boats bigger than this. Come on now.
But yes, go ahead, Professor. The door will open. You'll be able to see inside. and it's like the TARDIS, it's bigger. Like you're looking into a room, you're not seeing the glitch C or whatever, but it's an empty room with a menu panel on the opposite wall, with hardware settings on it. It's another screen, and it has brightness, time, date, connection test, restored data. Those would be the menu panel listings.
System restore.
I don't think I see a system restore. I got
restore data.
Restore data. Okay, yeah. Yep. Let's see.
It seems worth the risk. I mean, I just hope that doesn't restore over us.
But you said it's a different room. A door opens up to go into a different room.
Yes.
Yeah, we're in setting. We're on setting. We're in the settings screen now.
And this room has a setting screen. Yes.
So one of us doesn't get lost forever. Anytime we're changing from room to room, hold on to each other.
So is one person staying outside of the room, and there's a hand?
I don't think that we want to separate at all.
Otherwise, I like the idea of one person staying out in a hand chain. Actually, I think that's a good idea.
You want it to be the professor then?
I wish
if you want to go.
I wish Tammy Jasper was here.
Well, maybe the professor should be the one running the screen.
He's all brains.
Yeah. And maybe I should stay outside because I can disperse if something happens.
Yeah, Tammy was the nerdy computer science student that did my computer science homework for me.
But it doesn't matter to me.
I could go in, or I could stay out, being a better chance, maybe to have a better chance to find you if you get lost.
That's a good point.
Let's all go in. Hell with it. There's no value to this room. Let's just all walk into the next room together.
Let's all do it.
Okay.
One in a row, all right? All for one.
Right. And you don't have to close the door either. You can leave the door open. It's pretty inert.
I'll stand in the doorway. So the door can't close.
Yep. Menu panel listing the hardware settings, and you would like to push restored data. And so that means Chrome is the first one to see, because you're in the door, that the checkerboard floor, about 30% of the flooring just and then disappears, and you can just see floating glitch C.
Whoa. Do not do that again. Some of the floor disappeared out here. Whatever it is you did, I don't think that was what we wanted to do.
I think we're only allowed so much space.
Well, one door is locked. Well, we need a password.
You're in this room with,
let's go to the other door with a disk and see if we can find a password to do an unlock.
Maybe the password's in Danish.
Who would bake the password into a pastry?
So what are you guys doing?
So we walked. It's okay. We walked into
I know
this
you need
first
to be
room.
specific. Yep.
It's okay. We walked into this first room. Part of the prior room disappeared. And what we saw in here was what exactly? I lost track of it.
It's another panel, a menu panel in the wall. Like you open the door and there's this plain room. Let's say it's blue colored, right? Has a soft blue color. And then directly across, it's not very big. Let's say 10 by 10. There's another, what do you call them? LED, whatever menu screen. And there was choices like you would on an ATM, brightness, time, date, connection test, restored data. And Oaken suggested, and I guess maybe the professor did it, that to to push the restore data button. And what happened was that 30% of the checkerboard cubes that make up the floor in the plaza outside the door disappeared, and you could see like through, like, so the floor comes a little bit like Swiss cheese in some areas, and you can see the glitch sea of different techno colors underneath.
I'm glad I wasn't standing out there.
I want to do a connection test.
Yeah, that one. That's what I was thinking. It's either that or we just make it all go away.
I don't think that would work out for us.
Okay.
No, I don't think so either.
Yeah, you said that earlier.
You get test failed, no signal.
But maybe if you're standing in an area that is no longer part of the program, your mind will be back in your own body. Maybe.
It's possible, but let's save that for last because we can't undo that if we do that. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Yeah.
So what were the other two? Connection test failed. When he tried to reformat to bring back data, we lost part of the floor.
Mm-hmm.
What were the other two?
A time, date, and brightness. Let's see what time, date is. It's frozen as well. Actually, it's asking for a date to be entered. That's what it looks like.
I give it the correct date.
Y2K.
Oh yeah, Y2K. There we go. Because we want it more frozen up.
Give it about 15 minutes ago and put everything back the way it was.
I think putting in today's date, I'm going to look for a positive result. Let's see if I can find one.
This strikes me as a system that's broken. And I think we've all fixed things from time to time. I want to give it enough data because it looks like, let's assume Hideo was either some operator or the creator, which I have no idea. Creepazoid is a swamp monster I met in my very first trip into Capital City when I was so green I squeaked. And he seemed to just hang out here more than actually be a problem. And we've run into mad scientist types in the sewers a couple of times. Let's assume for a minute Hideo is someone who can fix things. This is a little like a couple of Star Trek original series episodes. This is both the slime, the no-kill-eye slime, and the almost V'ger, the plot from first
Star Trek nerd.
What's that now?
Metal, I would not have pegged you as a Star Trek nerd.
What can I tell you? You have like a Battlestar Galactica analogy. That'll be all right.
I remember.
I had you more as a Fast and Furious kind of girl.
Yeah, the clothes do that.
Yeah, there you go. That's true. That's true. The positive feedback you get is the Hideo icon in a sleep mode, but with home, but it's clearly stamped over, pasted over a logo of a floating tower. There was a floating tower.
We can go up there. We can go
What
to
was the fourth option? What was the fourth option, Jay?
Brightness.
Can we tell how high it is? Can I adjust the brightness?
Let's say it's all the way to low. So
I turned it up 20%.
Turn it up 20%. You all are pretty blinded for about 4 seconds.
Oh God! All right.
It gets really bright in the room really quick.
All right.
Wow, if that's only 20%, imagine if you turned it all the way up, we'd probably fry.
Yes. Unless someone else got something else to try in this room, I think this is all we're gonna get in this room.
When we were out on the checkerboard floor and the floating tower in the distance, from our human real life perspective, how far did this appear to be to us?
How far did
20
what
feet,
appear?
a mile?
No, 50 yards. 50 yards. at an angle in, like say a 45-degree angle.
What, the tower?
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's floating
floating.
like 50, 60 yards above you and a bit away.
And I can't use my normal parlor tricks to get there.
Let's go to the door that has the disc above it.
Okay. This one is a similar room. It's 10 by 10 with a panel on the opposite wall. But this one reads, game data corrupted. Save file may be lost or slickware may become unplayable. Play anyway? If yes, I should say play anyway. And I guess there's a yes or a no.
I think we should play anyway.
Sure.
Team?
I hope
Because
it's
we're
a
not
chess
getting anything
match.
done standing here, right? What's that?
I'm just waiting for the disc part of this because if that's in Tron, I can probably throw that disc pretty well. But that's about all I got.
I'm just hoping it's a chess match. That's
Well, you've hit something pretty significant because the plaza and the communication tower start to crumble into the glitch sea. But at the same time, in this room that you're in where you said yes, a roller coaster track grows from the sky, connected from the tower to the floor of the room that you're in.
Oh, so we can go up.
Uh-huh.
All right, let's play.
Tower it is.
All right. Are we climbing the roller coaster track, I guess?
Yep, and there's nothing for it but the plaza and the communication tower and the 4 doors to collapse into the seizing glitch sea that was the
Ever expanding.
expanding or disintegrating cyberspace that you're in. Or
But
So we
its
go to
cohesion.
the tower or we fall in a hole.
Yeah, you're at the short tower on its floating island. You've managed to get over the glitch sea by activating a roller coaster bridge.
Oh, this looks like the Rainbow Bridge from back home.
The Bifrost. Oh, good.
Yeah.
And it has the tower's lobby is a spacious entrance hall. Has a large statue, Greco-Roman god made out of blank hexic polygons. The black
What
and
is
white
wrong
tiled
with-
floor is continued. There's no music playing in the tower. I guess there's no music playing at all because it all went
That's
away.
all right. I can whistle.
And there is a circular opening at the other end of this lobby. How does this room work? That goes into another room that seems to have another statue in it. And then there's stairs leading up out of the lobby, like if you would in a tower, stairs going up.
Spiral staircase.
Yeah, let's go.
Let's go
There's
up.
only one place to go, right?
Yeah.
Well, two. There's a hole in there.
The second floor is a bit similar to the first. There's a large room, and then there's a circular opening that goes into another room, and stairs continuing going up. And then the room that you enter, thousands of shiny gold medals cover the wall under a banner that says 99% complete. The banners that are missing are the missing one is labeled "Make a Friend."
Okay. This is also deeply metaphorical.
Let's see.
Where's Plankton? Can we make him a friend?
Fish are friends, not food.
Mhm. So yeah, I guess unfortunately that gives you a choice of going into the room that's on this floor, going down and exploring the other room that you didn't, or continuing up the stairs.
Well, let's
We
check the
don't see
room
what-
on this floor.
I was going to say, we don't have a lot of safety in numbers here, but yeah, let's continue to go up. We have an option to look back. I'm looking for specifically this missing banner. If something's 99% complete, if we have a just barely not functioning environment, we might be able to just attach one piece and get out to our lives.
It's an echoey room, empty blue walls, floating panel options, add or block, add new entries, make a friend request.
There we go. We're gonna make a friend request.
Oh shit! Now we're on Facebook.
What's Facebook?
Very, I don't know, but it's very dangerous. I know that.
You
It's
hear
something you put information in so it can be stolen by corporations.
Who's the request? Who's the guy we're looking for?
Hideo.
Hideo.
Yeah, request him.
Good call.
The stairs that continue going up like light, like ding 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 ding. I mean, it's so ham-handed, but yeah, ding 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 ding.
I guess we go up.
Request accepted.
Yep, agreed. Head up.
It's a cozy attic nook. There's large circular windows. A few virtual keepsake. There is someone here asleep in the bed, and what could only be an avatar, I guess, because you've seen the logo on the soda from Mr. Goodnight Soda, is Mr. Goodnight, who's sitting by the bed and just sits there and is watching Hideo, but like not really there.
So Hideo's in the bed or Goodnight's in the bed?
Hideo's in the bed.
And Goodnight is there watching him.
Goodnight, yes, and not seem to be aware of any of you guys.
I will attempt to engage him in conversation.
Which one?
I was thinking good night because Hideo, he doesn't look like he's at his best.
Yep, Mr. Goodnight is the moon-headed mascot of Mr. Goodnight Soda.
Smack tonight.
Yeah.
Oh, good.
And
Yeah,
I guess Mr. Goodnight responds to that and looks at you, Metal, and it says that Hideo must have drank too much. He won't awake.
Without shaking or getting too close, does it look obvious that this Hideo, the person in the bed, is plugged into anything, or is it just a person sleeping? Like you said, when we first came through,
there's not a person there. There's an image of a person, and it seems to have more detail and more resolution than anything you've seen in this space so far. And it almost actually looks like, a normal person, someone in their 30s, with a beard, some glasses.
Hey, he's in HGR mode.
And that's where you also notice that there's a wheelchair in the room against the corner.
So he's more real. Mr. Moonhead thinks he drank too much soda.
I just said drank too much.
Oh, you're right. I assumed soda, but he's the soda logo. Can we move Hideo? Can we get him in his wheelchair?
Oh,
I'll go over and try and lift him up.
The beverage is Mr. Goodnight, and he's like Mac tonight. He has a moon head. He represents nighttime, and he represents sleeping. Is this Mr. Goodnight a sleep aid? It's not really a soda.
It seems to look like when you
he drank too much.
Try to look at it closely and to figure it out, or to give you an idea. It's clearly the black goo that was coming out of the severed wires. and actually seems to be quite, undigestible.
You drank that stuff?
Metal did, right? Yeah.
I thought it was a soda when I drank it.
It even tasted like a soda, but the professor is seeing that no, actually it's not. It's the goo from the wires being made to look and taste like soda.
Okay, am I able to pick the guy up out of the bed or not? Does he have a physical form? You're obviously reading something.
No,
I'll wait.
I am. And I'm interpreting.
Interpreting?
Interpreting, yes.
That's what he
Interpreting.
said. For
you gotta pronunciate properly.
Well, you get another like overload of those images that ran through your head the last time something like this happened. I think when you were just getting sluiced up by this thing.
Yeah.
And what do you understand? You understand that this guy has a name, and it's not Hideo, but you don't know what it is. And you know that he created, or it was the person behind making what this thing references itself as Deep Ghost. And let's see, through that.
And this all goes through my head when I try and pick him up. Is that?
Yes. Yes. Okay. Yes. And at the same time that information is being transmitted to Mr. Goodnight as well. And Mr. Goodnight's being made aware of the same thing. So I think you're going to get another question. I know you're getting another question. I don't think it.
I was going to say, aren't you responsible for that? Yeah.
Pretty much, yeah. And it says the machine has an inquiry. The state declares it has a right to end the life of criminals who deserve this penalty as determined through due process of law, but the state does not define how it has merit to make and enforce this declaration. Question: what is a suitable merit for making this sort of declaration? And you're keenly aware that whether that Deep Ghost, this person referenced as Hideo, is charged with a crime.
Guys, did you read Hobbes in college?
That's from Hobbes.
That's from Hobbes. That's a philosopher, 18th century. I have one of those useless degrees. So the state has to have a monopoly on violence, right? People can't be allowed to commit violence or executions, things like that. This has to be a right the state reserves from itself. But that's right out of Hobbes.
I'm going to say in the shared reality now that you guys are starting to be able to share thoughts, so you can have these communications. How's that?
Okay.
Well,
the laws are up to interpretation from someone that is a judge of the law.
Sure. That just sounded like a quote from Hobbes, and that was Hobbes's answer.
What was his answer?
The laws are written, but they have to be interpreted in
another interpreter.
Hey, got everybody interpreting.
Hobbes's answer about execution for violence was the state must have a monopoly on violence. This has to be a right reserved for the state, right? Because individuals can't have it. This is how the state maintains authority.
Due to their interpretation.
Truth.
Of said law.
Well, frankly, I don't think anybody has the right to pass a death sentence on anybody else. So,
So I'm not making a value judgment. I'm just saying I read the book.
No, I'm saying that's my answer.
Depends on the person.
That was
That's
my
why
answer.
it's interpreted in such a way.
Chrome's
What about you,
answer is
Professor?
Because some people might deserve it, i.e. Hitler.
Well, other than the last couple of months, the professor's brain growing at incredibly fast and getting all this knowledge, I don't think he ever studied philosophy. Before the accident, he would more know about Star Trek and Gilligan's Island.
Yeah, but the guy
So that's the first time I
wanted,
heard that about the philosophy. So as for, I'm trying to figure out if this is, I'm assuming that all of this recreation is coming from the mind of the person that's sleeping.
I'm
Even though
thinking
he's
that
not
there
there too,
is.
he's an avatar also. So I wonder where his real body is in real life.
The Hideo in the bed, the person being referenced, is you're sure, because you're the professor and all this is running through your brain, that this is I guess sense impressions that Deep Ghost has cobbled together and is the best facsimile of Hideo it can come up with.
I want to give it the answer from Hobbs. You guys okay with that?
Well, I already answered the question in my
got
head.
it.
Yeah,
I don't know if the thing heard me.
How did you answer it, Chrome? Sorry.
I answered that no one has the right to
execute.
end another life.
It's a good altruistic answer.
Yep, it's good enough that at least it seems like a positive result for you guys, as in it is satisfied with an answer because you feel the images of the reality around you, that this virtual cyberspace, coming down, and the wires falling out of the back of your heads.
Yeehaw!
And
Nice
all
work.
all like the wires around you that were pulsating and closing off the tunnels and stuff, they seem to be like now flaccid and draining.
Flaccid?
Yeah,
And draining.
like
And draining.
Yeah. I know it's a terrible analogy, but there you go. What can I do? I'm on a time limit here. I gotta.
I'm gonna find something a little bit above floor level to stand on for a little while.
Okay. Yeah.
And don't ask me how to spell flaccid.
The adventure began with sphincters and probing, so now we're with flaccid and draining.
Flaccid and draining, yeah.
What's everyone's will score?
Oh, mine is 4.
Just one more thing. Yours is 4.
Mine's 4.
Okay.
6.
3.
4s and 6s. Let me pull out my chart.
3.
I have a strength of 3. It's my lowest attribute.
Use the real chart this time.
You think my will sucks? You should see my aura.
What's your aura at?
2.
Ooh. I know where I'll be spending my points.
Okay. Anyone who's got a 4 is going to get a what? Is got to get a 11 or better, and anyone else who's got a 5 or a 6 needs a 9 or better.
So as you were, I rolled the die. The first one hit. The second one went off the table. So I picked it up, and as you said, an 11. I'm looking at a 4 is what I got on the first one, and I get a 7.
All right.
Okay. So you don't retch.
The professor fails.
You violently throw up. This has all been really traumatic to your system, to your psyche, and your physical constitution.
I got an 11.
You did what?
11. You said
Okay.
I need. My will is 4. You said 4 need 11. I rolled 11 exactly.
Okay.
8, 9, 10, 11.
Metal, how did you do?
I rolled a 12.
Okay, so everyone's fine except the professor. The professor
You all right there, big guy?
loses his lunch.
But
I don't think you can take him drinking with you.
it's not real lunch though. So is it just animated black goo, or
Yeah, the black goo just came out.
No, you didn't swallow any black goo.
You couldn't hold your mud.
it's pixelated representation of food, or is my actual real body throwing up?
Yeah,
in the
your real
world?
body's throwing up. Yeah.
We're back in the real world, and you just heaved.
Yep. The,
You know, it'd be funny
the
if, like-
translation back into the real world or whatever, and like, kind of like Neo when he fucking comes out of the virtual reality. Yeah, then they pull the tube out of his head, he throws up, all that, he flips out. So it's a little like that.
Yeah.
But
It'd be funny if the cartoon burgers from Burger Time flew out of him.
so, yeah.
Does anybody explain what the hell just happened to us?
I have no idea.
We're back in reality, so it means we got our powers back.
Yes.
Yes, this is a good sign. Yes.
But we're still in the wires, the globe, the room with the.
Yeah, you don't get any power readings. It's like
No, the wires and stuff are
dead.
gone, but we're still in the top floor of the tower with these two
Oh
guys.
no! Everything you guys are in reality
back in the sewers.
Back in the sewers in that room.
That
but
used to have all the wires, but now they're flaccid and draining.
Yep, following against the natural course to the river. Everything's.
I don't know. Should we get it? Should we get out of here now and go topside?
Yeah, there's more going on with Deep Mind, but I don't think we're going to find it down here.
Yeah.
So I'm hypothesizing that Hideo was the creator, and DeepMind must have been his alternate reality cyber world that he was creating.
Is it
Right.
Deep Ghost?
Deep Ghost.
Deep Ghost, yes. It
Yeah, I was
itself
like,
as
wait,
Deep
what's
Ghost.
Deep Mind now?
I don't know. Somebody just said it.
Yeah,
Or
Mike
maybe
said it.
Bad news. Sorry.
Maybe I just heard it. So Hideo, wherever the real Hideo is,
But we know what he looks like now.
You do know what he looks like, yes.
but
And
So
we know
for
he's
next time, it
probably
means
in
we
a
need to go
wheelchair.
find him.
was he Asian, or I was just assuming he was Japanese or something, but
It's a reasonable
No.
assumption.
No, he looks American. He like 30s, had a
and
wearing,
by that you
wearing
mean,
a ponytail longer than he probably
But
should
that
be.
means Caucasian, I think.
by that you mean white guy?
Yeah, he's Caucasian, extremely.
Okay,
Extra white.
so
So if his name's Hideo in real life, so be it.
It's probably his screen name, because I hear all the nerds do that kind of thing. They have those fake names when they're on the internet.
so he's
Somebody
probably
We need to go to a sketch artist.
To get this
Paraplegic.
right.
Describe this guy.
I'm also assuming that he's a paraplegic and he's in a wheelchair in real life, since that was represented in the
Mhm.
the
Virtual reality.
virtual
Yeah, so
reality.
like Charles
Simulation.
Xavier with hair.
Yeah,
And beard.
very good, very good. That's nothing wrong with that, right? That nails it pretty good.
I bet you could go see your friends at the FPE and they'd be able to tell you something, because this guy's got Rogue Super written all over him.
Something.
Yeah, he's an Omega of some kind. He's an Omega mutant of some kind.
I don't know that he necessarily had any kind of evil thoughts. Maybe this thing just got out of control.
No, someone probably grabbed him to make him do stuff.
I think this was probably a hobby that just got out of control, is what I'm thinking. But we'll have to start doing some research and figure out who he is, where was the last time somebody saw him. His he may not even be alive. The computer that may be why they're making a representation of him, because he's no longer there.
I'm sure he's real in some sense.
Oh, I'm sure he was originally, but no telling now.
So
I think it's our objective to free him.
The way
Make
Mr.
him
Goodnight,
okay.
the way the program said that he drank too much and he was out, I think this thing is alive on its own. I don't think there is a controller of it.
Charles Xavier had to take his meds so he could walk.
I'm gonna go get some more.
I saw that movie.
I'm gonna
So-
go get some cola to drink, and you guys think of where you're going from here. Because I'm imagining you guys are all having this conversation as you're kind of walking back out of the sewer, you know, and
Yeah,
trying
I
not
think
to
we need
step
to
in
find
things.
a sketch artist.
And I guess I'll be back real quick because I just want to get something to drink.
So, Metal, do you know anybody at the police department or with the FBE or whoever that can get us a sketch artist? Because I want to
So-
describe this guy before we all forget what he looked like.
Yeah,
I think
Officer Matthew Baldwin.
So I think that's a good idea. Most of my contacts are in the media. You guys get along better with the government than I do. They don't like me.
I don't get along. I mean, I'm not against the government, but I'm not signed on to their special task force or anything like the professor is.
Well, Metal, you know the cops or the professor. Yeah.
A couple of local cops, really, guys. You know what I do for a living. I don't get along all that well with the authority figures.
Yeah.
So there's some people in media. We can get a sketch artist. Now that we've seen them, and I'm trying to figure is there any way to use our power? I mean, okay, I like the sketch artist. I like the research on him. Let's figure out what we can about the name Deep Ghost, about the name Hideo, what we can get from the picture, and what we can extrapolate from the what's the name of the Moonhead guy with the colas there?
Mr. Goodnight.
Mr. Goodnight.
And Mr. Goodnight, because that's a known brand, right? We should be able to figure out who created the back end on a known brand. And this is Metal's detective still.
So what? You guys come back out, and not much time has actually really passed. Like the time that you were in virtual reality happened at the speed happened at the speed of thought. You know, so
Okay.
whatever that length that felt, that just was like that was like all happened. You got hooked and it was over. And you're just alive instead of dead.
It's
So-
like neuron.
Chrome had the idea of we want to catch a sketch artist, right? And I'm sure that the professor's friends, the FBE, can hook up with a sketch artist. But I wanted to detective it up. Mr. Goodnight and the soda and all that in the front end of this, we should be able to backtrack who Hideo is as the inventor of or the person that built all this.
Yeah, good night. The fast food king.
Say that again, Metal.
He's muscling in on McDonald's.
So I agree with what Chrome said is now that we've seen the guy, let's see if we can figure out about a paraplegic that we can get a sketch artist and see what we can do in face rec. But beyond that, Mr. Goodnight is a known brand. And we know that's out there somewhere. We should be able to backtrack from the brand.
No, Mr. Goodnight is a complete fabrication.
Oh, it's not a known brand. Okay.
It's a made up thing. It's Mr. Goodnight is Deep Ghost. It's Deep Ghost's avatar in virtual space.
So let's see what we can find looking into Deep Ghost, looking into Hideo, and using the picture then. And
so coming out, you're going to want to make contact with the FBE, still milling about, or, you know, maybe Bisbee Sharp is still hanging out with Chet Atkins.
Need someone with computer skills to search Deep Ghost on the black web.
And so would that mean going back to FBE headquarters and working up a sketch and following this lead?
Yep. I think so.
I think that's the plan.
Yep.
Because it doesn't take long because, yeah, this person is known.
Okay.
Bisbee Sharp is well aware of this person. His name is Harold Grimes. Harold Grimes was a technician on the COVID-24 vaccine project being run out of Capital City University Medical Center.
Damn, we're up to 24 now?
That's part of the original premise to the game. That goes back a ways.
Yeah. That COVID-24 was really bad. And Capital City University under Dr. McKeever oversight, who now is the enlarged-headed Meteoron, fully in league with the Congress of Truth, was the lead scientist on the COVID-24. Bisbee and McKeever had talked, well, no, it would have been Garvick Nurse at the time, had talked about what to do with Harold Grimes when McKeever found out, because this is a federally funded program, that Harold Grimes was stealing tech from the lab. Who knows what the fuck he was doing with it or whatever.
I think we know.
And McKeever went to the previous SIAC doc, Garvick Nurse, asking, what do I do? What's the problem? And Garvick Nurse was pretty straightforward. He's like, you got to fire him. You got to write up stuff. You got to say what he's did, and we're going to go arrest him. And before they got to his place, actually Harold Grimes's place, and how long the theft or whatever had been going on, I guess wasn't able to be found out at that time because his apartment was blown up.
Well, what interests me,
so that Harold Grimes, was killed in an explosion in his residence in Capital City shortly after, really at about the same time that McKeever was coming forward with this revelation that believes this guy's been stealing stuff from the lab over the last few months or whatever. And Bisbee Sharp believes that some of this tech and some of this stuff, because of Dr. McKeever's connection with the Congress of Truth and its shady history, that's why he disappeared or, was working for them. But where did Dr. McKeever get some of his, I guess, information studies direction? The whole COVID-24, after McKeever was gone, turned in Materion, the whole project got shut down, scandal, that that Dr. McKeever, whatever he was working on, was not a COVID-24 vaccine.
Right.
And so this is where Bisbee Sharp gets real chills that that Dr. McKeever was compromised in some way and working at the behest of the Congress of Truth. And a lot of this leads back to Pondsville, and which is under the supervision now of the Army. And he's really concerned about, at this point, who do you trust, who do you don't trust? He needs someone like you, Metal, that can, plausible deniability is looking at you at the end of this stuff. Here's where I need you guys. I need you guys to be my eyes and ears, my retribution, my whatever is going up in Pondsville, put a stop to it, because he can't.
So you think this is all back to Pondsville?
Pondsville mine. Pondsville is a mine.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there's also a little town there. There's a little town there too.
It's from the biological connection from the virus into a computer virus, because we were just in cyberspace world. So they made a biological computer that like Chrome just got sucked up into.
I think Deep Coast is a true emergent artificial intelligence. I think Deep Coast is a mind that is broken or incomplete and is an actual living thing as evolved by whatever this crazy ass Harold Grimes did. And as much as I hate to agree with Bisbee Sharp, I think Deep Mind needs our help up at the Pondsville mine.
Deep Ghost.
Yeah, because I think it's trying to figure the world out.
It's a biological computer.
So are we. Excuse me, us living people.
Exactly. Well, from the neck up, anyway.
So the known history that Bisbee Sharp has been able to get, officially, of the Pondsville mine was that the Echo disaster was a cover because there was a government research program going on, which you revealed when you brought all those files and stuff back from the closed off, if you would, the closed off shafts and secret laboratories that were being used. And the Congress of Truth seemed to have been either involved or utilizing that space, but they they had been there for a while doing shit, and Dr. McKeever was at their beck and call.
Shit. Yeah.
I mean, Dr. McKeever is still with them, kind of, in a sense, because he transformed himself into Materion with the meteor shard that he ripped out of his stepson's head.
Yeah. I seem to recall hitting him with a stasis chamber or something. There was a whole thing about scratching a space station. Yeah.
He's like the opposite of the professor. Like, well, he had no regard for, at some point, he just snapped and had no regard for anything but sticking a meteor shard in his head and making his head expand. He killed his stepson to do it.
Yeah, I recall. Guys, I think we have to head to Pawnsville.
I think Pawnsville is ground zero by the sounds of it.
Oh, we know for sure that Pawnsville is where the original meteor that all superpowers came from struck.
Okay.
And that,
So obviously we're going to end it here for this evening.
okay.
And I feel that Chrome and the professor, at least Oaken, I don't think just really cares. He wants to go fuck some shit up, but
I'm going to McDonald's.
probably want to. I mean, I feel like, is there a need for more information and backstory about anything that you feel that you need to have?
I mean, unless it's something that we would know,
Yeah,
you know,
learning as
that
we
was
go.
like in the news or anything like that. Obviously, that's the kind of stuff we would know about. Otherwise, we wouldn't know any of this history that, you know, things that Metal's done, except for what Metal tells us. So,
Mm-hmm. What happened with what made it out in the news about Pawnsville and Capital City, that a bunch of missing people were found in the mine, that there was a rash of missing persons from Capital City, and what the FBE was able to trace back through the help of their EEs, Metal, Olympian, and who else was there at the time,
That was Bug.
uncovered that there was, that these people had ended up in the Pawnsville mine, and that they had been murdered by peoples unknown.
So it looked to us,
that was tried to be as minimized as possible. But of course, you had the victims and the relatives wanting answers, and
the Congress of Truth, as best as I can tell, were guys who've had their hands on the meteor, where all this comes from, off and on for years. They did experiments with it. There's all this information about how they worked for years to get something out of it. A lot of the early superhumans happened through them doing stupid shit. And this other guy, Metreon there, the giant meteor head, we conflicted with him. He has mental powers way up and above and beyond. We had to cheat. We beat him, but it was ugly. The point is, the meteor is the ultimate valuable power object. Any one of these big brain types, every pun intended, seems to want to get their hands on this. I don't know how much of the original meteorite is left, but it was at Pawnsville originally, and we went through there. The Army's been in control since we were there the first time, but there is still so much we never figured out about the Congress of Truth and what they were doing.
Yeah, that's a good about summation.
Well, I figured that's what Metal tells them.
Yeah, and that's what you know too. Yep. I mean, it's all, yeah.
Okay.
Did we get any experience from this adventure?
Yes, I'll have to total that up and figure it out, but this was a experience worthy. We closed off a certain, believe it or not, guys, he kind of closed off a long-running thread to a certain degree.
Yep.
At least beneath the streets of Capital City.
all right.
All right. To
Cool.
Pawnsville
Till next
it is.
time. What's that?
To Pawnsville it is.
All right. Talk to you later, guys.
Yeah, thanks for playing, guys. Hope we all had a good time.
Yeah.
So did I.
Bye.
Wow.
Bye, guys.